What's going on, guys? Dumber Orange 927 here, back again for another video. And here today, guys, I am once again discussing Battlefront 2. The game is getting much closer to release, and I'm getting really excited for it. And you know, once again, the excitement has been phenomenal. This has been one of the most intriguing Star Wars video games that I have ever seen in a very long time. Like, I haven't been this excited about Star Wars gaming a very long time. And, you know, the reason for that is it feels like a full game within free content of free DLCs, a single player story, content from all three eras within the Clone Wars, the Galactic Civil War, and, you know, just the time of the First Order. And, you know, the graphics look amazing, the gameplay looks insanely improved from the first game in pretty much every aspect, and even better, it just has a lot of stuff, you know, has a lot of heroes, has a lot of maps. Like, it's already been confirmed pretty much that it's going to have more maps than the first game ever did. So yeah, pretty much, you know, I'm really excited for the game. However, there is one thing that the majority of the community, and myself included, has been a little bit concerned about, and that is the microtransactions. Battlefront 2 is going to be having these things called loot crates, where basically, how would you put it? We're going to be opening these crates kind of like the random number generators, kind of like supply drops or rec packs, and it's going to give you star cards and I think different weapons. I'm not sure though. I know for a fact it's giving star cards though, and they'll probably tie it to cosmetics as well. And as a whole, according to what most people presume, it's going to be the progression system within the game. And this is where the concern lies. And there's two concerns that I'm going to be bringing up. The first one is it going to become a pay-to-win system? And the second one is, will this damage the progression and the longevity of the game as a whole? So let's answer the first question. Do I think Battlefront 2 is going to end up becoming a pay-to-win game? No. People bring up this concern, and it is a right to be concerned, but when people automatically assume the game is going to become a pay-to-win thing because of it, yes, it seems very unbalanced right now. It really does. But don't forget, we're still in the pre-alpha. We still have to hit the launch of the game. And yes, if it becomes a pay-to-win system when the game launches, I will be the first to tear that darn thing apart. But as far as we know, and given DICE's track record, because don't forget, this is DICE, they are going to have precautions to make sure that this game doesn't become pay-to-win, because that's the last thing they want. They don't want the whole game being sabotaged over a microtransaction system that benefits no one, DICE least of all. As well as that, given anything else, not really many other of DICE's games have ever become really in that type of course of a pay-to-win. Battlefield franchise hasn't, and Battlefront 1 really didn't have anything pay-to-win except with, I would say those who did get the deluxe edition did kind of have a pay-to-win because they got the DL44 early on, and that weapon was OP as crap. But they did patch the DL44, and as people were starting to progression, everyone was starting to get the weapon. It really became less and less of a, you know, oh my gosh, I'm so OP because I got this earlier than everyone else. You know, and speaking nowadays, the DL44 isn't even that powerful anymore nowadays within Battlefront's lifespan now. So, if people are, if will it maybe become unbalanced at the first few weeks of launch? Probably. And again, like I said, I will be there to tear the game apart. I will tear it a new one. But I'm confident with DICE's track record that they would get it fixed. Like, even the first Battlefront, with all of that game's issues, they did work as hard as they could to fix those issues to some extent and make the game more fun for everyone. Now, at that point, though, the damage was already done, and you can't change the course of the game by getting rid of the power-ups and all that and everything else. They just did what they could with what they had to work with to make the game at least somewhat more enjoyable. And I think they succeeded. So I'm confident within their abilities. Like, if this was an Activision game, or heck, even Microsoft with 343, I would be very distrustful. But it's DICE, and as much as, yes, DICE has had their fair share of screw-ups, cough cough, the first Battlefront, cough cough, Battlefield 4's failed launch, even though we can all agree that was EA messing with the frickin' servers, it doesn't change the fact that, yes, their track record isn't flawless, but it is probably the most honorable track record I've seen. So, I do remain pretty doubtful that even if it starts as a pay-to-win system, which I doubt they will, I'm confident that they can fix it even before the game comes out. And even if they don't, it will be patched within a few weeks, because let me tell you this, people are not going to stay with a game that becomes a pay-to-win system. They won't. And, if it becomes too much pay-to-win to the point where it's like, it becomes unbalanced, people will end up leaving the game. And like I said, no one benefits from that, DICE and EA least of all. So, I don't see it becoming that. Now, will it be more of a pay to skip? Probably, and this is where it leads me to the second part of the question. Will this kind of ruin the progression system and make it less enjoyable and hurt the longevity of the game? And I'm a little undecisive on that. Like, I hope that they can, kind of have a nice traditional progression where, you can unlock clone trooper skins or whatever through achievements or credits or whatever, but I feel like they're going to tie everything to these loot crates, and if they do, will that necessarily be absolutely horrible, like to the point where the game is unplayable for it? No, but I feel like some of the longevity will be compromised because it will begin to suffer the same problems that Halo 5 went through. Because let me tell you, Halo 5 never became pay to win with its requisitions, but it became a pay to skip. And when it came with working for the armors and the different gear and, rec weapons and all that, it was very tedious. It's still tedious now when I come back to play that game. It's very tedious. Like, no one enjoys going through the progression of that game because it's nothing but constant dissatisfaction. When you keep going through, I can maybe get this armor or this weapon or whatever, and then you don't, and you get something you don't want or whatever, that is very disheartening and very frustrating for players. And pretty much, people say that this is mostly to cover for the free DLC, but we've seen time and again that the free DLC can sometimes just be content that should be in the game. And I'm hoping for Battlefront 2 that's not the case. Like, yes, I know Kashyyyk and the Finn and Phasma are going to be DLCs, and yes, in a technical standpoint, should those be in the game? Yes. But we're talking about a game that is focused on the building of authenticity and, this high graphics engine. It takes a lot for them to be able to build a proper map. So, am I going to bash them for not having as much content, like as much maps and stuff as the original Battlefront 2? No, because, guys, whether you want to admit it or not, as brilliant as the original Battlefront 2 was, It did not take much effort to make the game. I'm sorry. The majority of new maps were pretty easy to process due to the simplicity of their engine. Not because let me tell you this, if the engine wasn't as simple as it was, it wouldn't be so easily modded. But it is. And as well as that, even if people disregard, oh, they made, they put the effort to make those new maps and all that and make all this content, don't forget that the majority of content within Battlefront 2 is reused assets from Battlefront 1. And I'm not just talking like, oh, they reused some of the models and all that. Some of the maps are identical in most cases. Like, let's be honest. Naboo in Battlefront 2 is themed in Battlefront 1, except it's nighttime. Maigeto's pretty good and all these, but they're very basic. And I think my main problem within the original Battlefront 2 maps was the fact they weren't that distinguished from each other, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, they were all really good, but some of them did kind of blend together. What was so different about Naboo versus Mustafar? Yes, one had vehicles, one didn't have vehicles, but as a whole, it was pretty much really similar in symmetrics and all that. So, I digress, though. I will be covering this more within my original Battlefront 2 review, which I plan to make. But I'm just saying, for this one, if all the maps are distinct from each other and they all are really good design with these amazing graphics and all that as well, and, we still have at least a decent portion of content within launch, like a pretty good amount, then I'm not going to mind maps like Kashyyyk and stuff being DLC, because it's not surprising me that they wouldn't be able to get those in at launch. That's not something that shocks me, because, it's just part of how the game works. It's like, this isn't designed to give the most, stuff. This is meant to authenticate the Star Wars experience and make you feel immersed. And as far as that goes, one really couldn't be more immersed. Except with the crosshair gameplay thing, but I already covered that. But, as a whole, this is heading in a good route with everything going so far. I'm just concerned that with the microtransactions and all that, first off, it could be a little cover-up within the content of the game, which I'm confident it's not, it's just I'm worried a little. But what I'm more worried about is how it's going to affect both the progression system as well as just the game's, fable longevity. Because even if people don't get frustrated by it becoming a pay-to-win thing, which, like I said, I'm confident it won't be, they'll get frustrated by the nature of the progression through microtransactions. And let me tell you, the majority of casual gamers aren't going to want or be willing to spend that extra money for the sake of getting a piece of cosmetic or a weapon. And, like I said, it's kind of a lose-lose situation, because you make it pay to win, people get frustrated and leave because of frustration within the game balance. However, if you don't make it pay to win and just tie it to progression, then people are going to get frustrated by the way it goes. So the right way to do it is just tie it to the star cards, and then a few cosmetics, like just stuff that's silly to where hardcore gamers like me, like say you can get a wolf pack tattoo for your clone trooper, and it only costs like $2 or whatever, then that'd be fun to spend it on. Heck, even if it was $4 or something, if it was like for a couple of skins and star cards, it'd be relatively a good deal. And if you do stuff like that, then I think it would work pretty well. However, if you make it a pay-to-win system, or tie it to everything, then it starts to kind of have a negative impact on the fan base. Like I said, I'm confident that DICE will not go this far. I really am. Will it tie to weapons, star cards, and probably most of the cosmetics? Unfortunately, yes. But I'm at least doubtful it will turn to a pay-to-win system. And, you know, I could really foresee in advance that they would be willing to, you know, ensure that this game remains fun for quite a while over getting an extra buck. Especially since in the long run, that fun, long term, is what's going to make you more money. I'm just saying. So, yeah guys, that's really about all I had to say in this video. You know, it's basically my whole thoughts about the situation with the microtransactions. Are people right to have the concern about it? Yes, of course they are. I would easily feel the same way. However, I don't think it's something that we're gonna really have to worry about too much. I think as a whole, things are gonna go alright. And as a whole, I think that Battlefront 2 won't end up being pay to win, and that it will, you know, it'll be good. Granted, I have no guarantee, and if I'm let down, then, you know, I will be the first to complain about it, and I will accept all the hate of people saying I was wrong. And, you know, all that stuff. However, knowing DICE's track record, I think we don't have much to worry about. You know, Battlefront 2 is heading out in basically about 3 months. And, you know, I'm really excited for it. So, I'm confident and I'm hopeful for the game. And if it lives up to everything I say, then I will basically be sending love letters to DICE. Since this is kind of one of the Star Wars games I've been wanting for a very long time. Kind of the revival of a true Battlefront experience. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the game with the space battles, the campaign, and all that good stuff. And, you know, I just hope that it will become an amazing game and won't depend on the corporate bullcrap to carry it through, and instead it will just be more of a side thing, kind of like Titanfall 2 was. And, yeah, I'm just really excited for the game, guys. So, yep, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video up, subscribe, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Your support means everything to me, guys, and I'm at 500 right now, and this is just like, this is amazing that I'm over 500. Like, I couldn't be happier. So thank you so much. Until then, guys, peace, love, and may the force be with you always. This is Dumber Orange 927 signing out. Peace, fellas.